The wind howled across the dry plains as Luke Harlan tightened the rope around the last hay bale. The ranch had grown quieter with each passing year, the silence settling deep into his bones. He had lived alone for almost a decade, ever since the river took his wife, Clara. People said he'd changed after that, became colder, quieter, older than his years. But every night he still placed a plate at the empty chair across from him. Every night he still whispered her name before turning out the light. Some wounds didn't heal. Some loves didn't die, even when people did. The sun was dropping when he heard it. The sound of small footsteps on gravel. Light, uncertain, scared. Then a tiny knock on the door. Luke frowned. No one ever visited this far out. He wiped his hands on his jeans and walked up to the porch. When he opened the door, his breath caught. Two little girls stood there, identical as mirrors, maybe 6 or 7, thin, shivering, holding hands so tightly their knuckles were white. Their dresses were torn, their boots too small. But their eyes, God, their eyes. He'd seen those eyes before. "Sir," the braver one whispered, "are you Luke Harlan?" His voice stuck in his throat. "Yeah, that's me." The quieter twin clutched her sister's sleeve and whispered something. Her sister swallowed, looked up at him with trembling courage and said, "Daddy, we came to find you." Luke stepped back like he'd been hit. Everything inside him twisted. What did you call me?" "Daddy," the braver one repeated, tears rolling down her cheeks. "Mommy said, if anything ever happened to her, we have to find you. She said you'd know what to do." Luke's heart hammered painfully. "Who's your mother?" The girls looked up at him with the same wounded sadness. "Clara," they said together. His world stopped. Clara. His Clara. The woman he buried in his heart 10 years ago. Luke's voice cracked. "Your mother died in the river." The quieter twin finally found her courage. "No, sir, she didn't die. She got sick. She tried to come back to you, but she didn't make it." The words tore through him. Luke braced himself against the doorframe. His breath shook. It felt like the sky fell onto his shoulders. If Clara survived, she'd been alive all this time, alone, sick, raising these girls without him. "Where is she?" he whispered. The girls' lips trembled. "In the wagon by the road," the braver one said. "She told us she was too tired to walk more. She said you'd come." Luke didn't remember running. His body moved before thought came. He sprinted down the driveway toward the old road. There, beside a broken-down wagon, lay a woman wrapped in a thin blanket. Her hair was longer, grayer, her face thinner. But he knew that profile. He knew the shape of her hands, even now. Clara. She was breathing, but barely. Luke fell to his knees beside her and lifted her gently into his arms. "Clara, Clara, open your eyes, it's me." Her eyelids fluttered. She looked up at him through foggy, fevered eyes. "Luke," she whispered, a ghost of a smile forming, "I told the girls you'd find them." "Find them?" His voice broke. "Clara, you should have come home. You should have told me. I would have moved mountains." I couldn't," she breathed. "I didn't remember anything at first. Fever, injury. Took years to remember your name. By the time I did, I didn't know if you'd want me." Luke pressed his forehead to hers. "I wanted you every day. I looked for you every night." Her tears fell onto his hands. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "No," Luke said fiercely. "I'm the one who's sorry. I failed you. I should have searched harder. I should have never stopped." Clara's eyes drifted toward the twins. "They need you now more than ever." Luke swallowed his grief. "And you, what about you?" She smiled weakly. "I'm tired, Luke. Just take care of them. That's all I want." "No," he said, voice breaking. "You're not leaving me again." He carried her into the house while the girls trailed behind, clutching each other. He placed her by the fire, wrapped her in warm blankets, fed her broth spoon by spoon, and stayed awake the whole night keeping watch. For the first time in 10 years, the empty chair wasn't empty. Clara didn't die that night. Or the next. Or the next. She fought harder than he'd ever seen. Luke took the girls to town, bought them dresses, boots, toys, books. He built them a room with his own hands, painted the walls the color they picked. He braided their hair awkwardly, burned their pancakes, and held them when nightmares came. Slowly, the ranch came alive again with footsteps, laughter, questions, little boots tapping across the wooden floors. And Clara healed. One morning, months later, she stood on the porch watching the sun rise. Luke came up beside her, unsure if he should speak. But she leaned into him, resting her head on his shoulder. "I thought you'd hate me," she whispered. "Hate you?" Luke's voice cracked. "Clara, you gave me 2 daughters. You survived hell. You came home." She looked up at him, tears shining. "Do you still want me?" "You're the only woman I ever wanted," he said. Her lips parted, soft and trembling, and Luke kissed her, the first kiss in a decade, full of heartbreak and healing and everything they'd lost and found again. Behind them, the twins ran out yelling, "Papa, Mama, breakfast." Luke laughed, a sound he hadn't made in years, and scooped them both into his arms. Clara watched him with a smile so full of life, he felt like the sun rose inside his chest. For the first time since the river swept her away, they were a family again. And this time, nothing in the world would tear them apart.